screaming heavy metal! We rock!
But the evil that men do lives on.
We gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to the Music Mania Podcast, a hard-hitting show featuring all things hard rock and heavy metal. And now here are your hosts, the Twins of Chaos, Clint Switzer and Paul Lagana.
We are locked and loaded for our final show of April. It is the Music Mania Podcast. Cannot thank you enough for listening, for downloading, finding us on iTunes, subscribing, and also, man, hit us up on our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We've got it all. And I'll tell you what, I am joined by the man who was baptized by rock and roll long before I was even born, Paul Lagana. Buddy, it is great to be sitting in here with you, and we have a huge guest coming up, and I cannot wait to talk to Jeff Pilson from Foreigner, ex-Dokken, Steel Dragon, also played with Dio back in the 90s. This is a great time for us to get to speak with Jeff on his return to the Music Mania Podcast. It's been 3 years. It's going to be a pleasure, man.
Clint, as always, it is great to be here, and you are absolutely correct about Jeff Pilson. This guy is the man. He has done it all. Dokken, Foreigner right now, Dio in between in the 90s. The guy's done it all and is a very talented musician.
No question about it, and we're both huge Dokken fans. We've seen the band without George Lynch, without Jeff Pilson in the last year. We're going to ask him about a possible reunion. I know that gets brought up to him a lot, but man, Jeff Pilson was there from '84 on. I mean, he was there for the hits. He was a co-writer on a lot of those songs. I mean, we're talking Dream Warriors and Alone Again, which is, I think, your favorite ballad of the entire '80s. One of your favorite songs, is it not?
There is no doubt about it. Alone Again. When I first heard Alone Again, I was just blown away. Dokken, to me, again, they didn't get the credit that they deserved, I thought, back in the mid to late 80s. Dokken has been one of the premier bands of the 80s. And Don Dokken himself, what a talented guy he is. So, Jeff Pilson, the guy, he co-wrote every single hit that they had back then. So we're going to ask him about that as well.
Talented guy. He's done so much. He's a producer now. Of course, we had Vinny Appice on a couple weeks ago, and Jeff Pilson actually produced the Last in Line's new album, The Devil You Know. He's a producer. He's doing all sorts of things. He's just a talented guy, great guy, nice guy. Was always kind of the go-between, it seems like. And I know maybe he and Don had a falling out when the band kind of broke up again in the early 2000s. But Jeff's always been kind of the go-between, like George Lynch and Don Dokken. Always talking like, we may be able to do a reunion, maybe we can't. No, now that it's typical band type spats that happen, and I agree with you, Dokken. One of my favorite bands from the 80s, and they just had so many wonderful hits. I mean, Into the Fire, Just Got Lucky, In My Dreams. It was just a band that was at the pinnacle of success with MTV and the 80s kind of hard rock explosion. I love Dokken, and we're going to definitely get into it with Jeff about Dokken and Foreigner, man, going on with just one original member. It's Mick Jones, but I'll tell you what, this brand of Foreigner, they are on fire. Kelly Hansen is a beast vocally. He played with Hurricane back in the 80s, a lesser-known hair band. He is one of the best vocalists out there. Foreigner's a high-energy band. They're putting on a great show, and we're going to get to see it down in Joplin, May 27th. They're outside Joplin, across the Oklahoma border at the Downstream Casino. Can't wait to see the show.
Absolutely, and we actually seen Foreigner a couple of times.
That's
here,
right.
Between actually 2008 and now, and they are a hardworking band. They sound great. As usual, still.
Just hit after hit.
There's no doubt.
Jukebox Hero, Cold as Ice, Hot Blooded. I mean, they crank it out, man. It's unbelievable. Yeah. We saw them, was it 2007 opening for Def Leppard? I mean, they've been out there. They've been road warriors. They've been opening for bands. They've been getting out there. They toured with Kid Rock last summer, and here they are doing a 40-day world tour on their own. It's great.
They need to keep the rock and roll alive, and that's what they're doing. For me, Foreigner is the epitome of a band that is as hardworking a band as any that I've ever seen. Again, the lineup changes. That's with all bands. So I can't wait to see them.
Well, I'll tell you what. At this time, we're going to bring on our guest, Jeff Pilson. Jeff, welcome back to the Music Mania Podcast. It has been a while. Great to catch up with you. How's everything going in your world, man?
Everything is going fabulous, man. Just all good. Playing, lots of performing, lots of people, all good.
Absolutely, that's what you've always been about. And Foreigner's in the middle of a 40-date world tour right now. I mean, you're in Mississippi tonight. You've got a lot of dates in the U.S. coming up here in the spring, and then in the summer you're going to the U.K. You got Sweden Rock coming up. You've got Israel coming up. I mean, you guys are as in demand as ever right now. I mean, how cool is that?
It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
You guys, I mean, what's it like? This band, I've just been a huge fan of this lineup of Foreigner. I mean, it is just wonderfully polished. It is amazingly sounding. Kelly Hansen's a beast on vocals. The band is at an all-time high. What's it like for you going to some of these shows like at Sweden Rocks, where it's like, I mean, Foreigner has this niche. You have these classic hit songs. Then you go to Sweden Rock with it, which is a bunch of bands, a hodgepodge of hard rock and heavy metal. And you go out there and you guys destroy a stage like Sweden Rock. I mean, how different is that to get in front of that crowd and to perform those hit songs?
Well, you know, it's amazing. It's pretty cool because we do, you know, we are able to play with some pretty heavy bands and not only hold our own, but actually, you know, win the day. It's amazing.
Of course.
We did a festival called, well, we actually did Sweden Rock a couple of years ago, and it was great. And we did a festival called Bang Your Head about 10 years ago, and I'll never forget it because it was the first time we did a heavier festival. And, you know, I don't know if people knew what to expect, but they walked away blown away. It was just great. You know why? Because Foreigner is a high energy group. It's high energy, but with these great classic songs. It's kind of the ultimate combo. So people get to be entertained, but with songs that they've known all their life, and it's a great combination.
It's something that I think that the world has now opened themselves up to. I think when you joined the band in 2004, I think Kelly Hansen joined a year after that. It took some time to gain some ground for people to realize what this band was capable of, because people had in their minds, you know, this kind of classic rock, Boston-esque, Lou Gramm, you know, and of course Mick Jones, who's still in the band. But it took a while to gain some ground, but now that it's happened, you guys went on tour with Kid Rock last summer, played in front of huge crowds. How amazing is that this band has taken a hold the way it has, you know, with Mick Jones, but you guys have totally reformed yourselves and formed a new identity. I mean, that's rare in the rock world.
Yeah, well, we do have a new life, and it is great. But again, I think it's a testimony to these great songs, and let's, you know, it is a great band, and yeah, we got a great singer, and so all elements are in place, and people are loving it, and so, you know, here we are rocking in our way into the future.
What was that like with Kid Rock? Because that's a crazy combination that I never would have, you know, drummed up in a million years. But that tour did huge numbers, 20,000 people a night in these amphitheaters. What was that like for you guys? Because I saw some videos that just absolutely saw Foreigner just shined in the best possible light. A couple nights where Jukebox Hero just went over so well, won the crowd over. What was that like touring with a guy like Kid Rock?
It was great. I mean, Kid Rock is a very good. He's a good guy. He was very, very good to us. He was helpful. He made sure that we got all that we needed. And you know what? It was a great show. He knew. You know, I mean, he keeps his ticket prices low, which is great. He's thinking about his fans, and he knew it would be a great show. And so he's giving people tons of bang for the buck. And you know what? I respect an artist that does that.
Oh, absolutely. So, Jeff, let's go back to your Dokken days a little bit. From the get-go, you were a co-writer on many of their classic songs. Just Got Lucky, Alone Again, Hunter, obviously, In My Dreams, so many more. What was it like to work with Don, and how did these hit classics come about?
Well, I mean, it was great. I mean, we obviously had a really good chemistry, and, you know, we were able to work together quite well. I mean, you know, one of the reasons I think they wanted me in the band is they wanted, you know, an extra writer and somebody who had a perspective, and so you know, it was just a great combination. I mean, we when you respect the other people you're with and are able to bring out the best in the other people you're with, I think that's when a group really does. That's when a group really shines. And as far as putting the classics together, I mean, they all came together in kind of different ways, you know. But generally, I mean, some of the songs started off with George and I doing music, and then somebody'd come up with a vocal, or some of the songs started, you know, Don maybe had an idea, and I mean, within my dreams, he came up with the chorus for that. He had the chorus for that, and then, you know, the song kind of wrote itself after that. So, but you know what? It was a great chemistry, and one that I've really, really enjoyed.
Well, it's obviously. I mean, Dokken, such a influential band from that era, from the '80s, and you've been able to work, with a lot of those guys. I mean, you have done the TNN album with Mick Brown and George Lynch, and that was just amazing. Dokken's still out there on tour, of course. I mean, you'll never do an interview probably the rest of your life where someone doesn't ask, when's this Dokken reunion going to happen? But I guess I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask Jeff, is the Dokken reunion ever going to happen? Is it possible somewhere out there in the stratosphere?
Well, of course it's possible. Our biggest impediment has always been time. Because we all get along now fine, and that's all good. I think we'd love to do it if we could. It's a question of carving out the time. So hopefully someday we'll be able to figure out a time to do it. But as you know, I'm almost always gone. So yeah. It's tough to do. But I would never say never, and we'll see.
Yeah, being busy is not such a bad thing, and definitely hope to see that someday. Love the project that everyone's doing right now. Love Lynch Mob. Love what George Lynch does. He does a bunch of projects. Love to see Dokken doing their thing. Of course, just hopefully it all comes together at some point, and to see that happen. But I want to ask you, because you're also a producer, and I think that's such an integral part. You do so many things. You're such a great hand in rock music, because not only are you a writer, a great musician, but you've produced several albums, and we just had Vinny Appice on our show about a month ago. We were talking about The Last in Line and what that album is. The album is The Devil You Know. It's an awesome album. I absolutely love it. Andrew Freeman on vocals. It's so tight. It's so just hard-hitting. Vivian Campbell, great band. Talk about your production work on that, and how happy were you with that album?
I was extremely happy with that. I mean, what a joy to work with those guys, and what turned out to be, Jimmy Bain's last record.
Yeah.
You know what? Great band, great chemistry. They're all dear friends of mine. So it was one of those things that was very automatic. I mean, the guys wrote the songs. They came in. A lot of the basic tracks were Jimmy and Vivian and Vinny playing live, and right in my room, and we capture it and do what we had to do to it. But as a rule, it was very raw and very natural, and I just thought they did an amazing job, and I enjoyed that record immensely. It was just a real joy.
You talk about Jimmy Bain passing away just in the last couple months, and it's unbelievable, because here we are going on the 6-year anniversary of Ronnie James Dio's death here in May.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Of course, you worked with Dio during the 90s, and we're on this album, and just what is that? Is it just surreal to kind of look at that? Because I know obviously Jimmy Bain as a bass player, and you as a bass player yourself. I mean, was there ever any chance of you kind of coming in and doing some of the shows with Last in Line, or what was kind of your thoughts on coming in?
I mean, I would love to have done that if I mean, unfortunately, all the shows that they had booked, Foreigner is booked, so there's no way I could. But I would love to have done that, and maybe at some point I will, because I do love those guys dearly, and I love their music, and it would be really, really a kick in the pants to do that. Unfortunately, I can't be in two places at once. If I could be in 2 or 3
that
places
would help.
at once, we could have Last in Line, we could have Dokken going on, we'd have all sorts of stuff happening.
We could get War and Peace back. I mean, we could just do it all.
That's right.
I mean, and I've always wanted to see a Steel Dragon tour. Right there. Oh gosh. Oh, Jeff, I just you're one of the nice guys in the rock business, and I mean, you're just somebody that's so open and so great to talk to. It's just wonderful, and I tell you, we look forward to catching up to you. We're going to be down there. I believe it's May 27th down at the show in Oklahoma, the Downstream Casino. We're going to be down there to catch up with you, and we can't wait to do that. But before we let you go, we got to do our quick 3 drum roll, 3 quick questions, and you just give us whatever quick answer comes to mind. Okay. First one, if you could play one set with one band, living or dead, who would it be?
Beatles.
That was quick. That was easy. Awesome. You're replacing Paul McCartney, I guess. That's no problem there, right?
Yeah, they don't really need him.
He's got all the time in the world. No problem. You're the one with the time constraints. Okay, best fictional band, Steel Dragon or Spinal Tap?
Oh, Steel Dragon, of course.
Well, it should be a given, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, last question here. Best Dokken video.
Wait, where's the drum roll?
Well, We don't have Mick Brown here, so.
All right, last one for you, buddy. Better Dokken video, Dream Warriors with Freddy Krueger or Just Got Lucky with the Volcano?
Oh, wow. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to call that a draw because I can't really weigh in on that. I sort of feel like band members are not always the best ones to judge their videos.
Well, you had Freddy Krueger in the Dream Warriors video, and then you had George Lynch inducing a live volcano in the Just Got Lucky video. And I believe you guys also shut down the Sunset Strip in Hollywood during Just Got Lucky, and there was some hilarious.
No, that was the It's Not Love video where we did that.
Oh yeah. It's not yeah. So the volcano. Hey, that was the thing about Dokken videos. Everybody remembers them. Everybody loves them. Mick Brown always said, "I never knew what we were doing or what was going on, but we showed up. We put on our fireman suits. We did whatever we needed to do, and there it was." Oh my gosh!
Love those fireman suits.
Well, Jeff, I'll tell you what, man, it has been just such a pleasure to catch back up with you. Have a great show tonight down there in Biloxi, and hope we can catch up with you down the road here on this tour. We'll see you on May 27th down at the Downstream Casino, my man.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Sure appreciate it.
You betcha.
Thanks, Jeff. Have a great day, buddy.
Thanks, you too.